Series extraction.
I'm going live right now. So, hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So we're going to do an energy talk. We kind of just need to see where the energy is leading us over the next few days. I want to try as best as possible. Illis Black Pepper is in the house. I want to avoid talking about current events as much as possible. And not because we need to stop talking about it, but because I just can't take anymore. I honestly just, I can't take anymore. I really can't. The amount of fighting going on, even for just having differing beliefs, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, sorry, I asked Daddy to stay in the room and do his work. I didn't realize suddenly I would be feeling like, all right. So, what I'm getting, I want to do this differently than how I normally do readings, where I'm just laying out all the cards and just reading all the cards for you guys. I'm getting that there's this massive shift. Okay, I'm just picking up on energy, and then if I have anything that I want to have kind of clarified, I'll pull more cards. So there's a major shift that's going on. That's very obvious to everyone. Okay, if it's not obvious to you, I don't know how in the hell you managed to stay so insulated, but wow. Wow, you might have to teach me how to do that. So all of this energy shifting has a lot to do with the consciousness of humanity shifting into an area of higher awareness, where we can't just, you know, turn a blind eye to things that are going on, turn a blind eye to injustices for all people. And it's just something that has to happen to get us to a higher level of understanding of our life, what we are complicit in, what we are co-creating, all of these things. And so as that energy shifts, what ends up happening is a major divide is created, because there becomes a polarity that's created. It's basically like spiritual mitosis. I don't necessarily feel like the majority of this energy is in denial of what's going on. I feel strongly that the majority of this energy is in varying degrees of how can we change this? How can we shift this into a co-created reality that is much, much more peaceful and much more balanced for all people, And what ends up happening when people are within a group, when people are in varying at varying levels of understanding, those who might understand more, those who might understand differently, they might begin to experience fighting within that group, not just group A and group B fighting with each other. It's like subgroups within A are now picking at each other. And this energy is very chaotic. It's a very, very chaotic energy. It's a very intense energy. And we have to remember that from cosmos comes order. From chaos comes order, because cosmos is chaos. Chaos is cosmos. And from that, we will have order once again. But right now, we're trying to figure out what that order is. So until we begin to really see what's going on with the energy shifting, there's a lot of interference going on with that process. There's a lot of attempts to block that process. Just a lot. And it becomes very chaotic within us, which again, from chaos comes order. It will happen. But right now, what's needing to happen is we need to focus on ourselves. Focusing on yourself doesn't necessarily mean that you have to pretend like there's nothing going on in the world, that there's nothing wrong going on in the world. There's absolutely still wrong things going on in the world. There absolutely still is a very huge need to begin vocalizing, to begin making it known that you're not okay with it. You know, whatever way you feel the need to express that, that's kind of something you have to decide for yourself. Personally, I don't want to participate in violence, but I do understand that when peaceful protests haven't helped, when the voices of those who have been abused have not been heard, you got to take it up a notch or 10 notches or all the way the fuck up. You got to do what you got to do to be heard. But do I want to participate in that? I don't think so. I don't think so. It's a lot of things going on in society that is seeking to divide us further. A lot of things. Now, there's a lot of people that think this is just like we have to stay focused on one particular racial group. What's happening right now is a major move for humanity. The advancement in equality for one racial group is not going to just be for that one racial group. The changes in legislation, the changes in policy and procedure will affect all of us. That's why all of us should be fucking mad. All of us should be very vocal about how we are unhappy as a people. Because really, something that started as a Black movement, it's for all of us. They're leading the way. The Black community is leading the way, and we need to support that. But in what way? I don't know. And what's the message? Again, you know, I said this yesterday. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, riot is the language of the unheard. That's what we're doing right now. If that's our language, what is our message? What are we fighting for? I haven't quite heard that yet. Justice. How will that justice be expressed? What exactly is it that we need as a people? What is it that we need? Scorpio. Anarchy. This is what you're seeing right now. Not a lot of people will survive anarchy. That transition, not a lot of people will survive that. I know I will, but I'm not trying to survive by myself. I want to create communities that will be based in more of a village or tribe process where everyone's needs are taken into account. Anarchy is just for the person. You're not going to tell me what to do. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. If you've got a bigger gun, then I guess I have to listen to you. That's not what we need right now. I think right now that with the energy shifting, what we have to focus on is what is our message? What is it that we want accomplished? I'll be honest. I feel like this really can't be done without riots. Do I agree with the riots? Not really. But when people are left no choice but to become aggressive in their expression of their needs, then that's how it's going to happen. And what we need to do is really understand we shouldn't be fighting each other. Because whatever laws that result, whatever the result from all of this, it's going to affect us all. It's going to affect us all. And we can't sit here and be like, only one group is I know plenty of people that have been abused by police. Plenty of people. Case in point, someone that I know personally, very close person to me. I don't remember what happened. I think there was like a bar fight. Everyone's drunk. And I wasn't there. But long story short, they're kneeling. They're on their knees in the streets of San Francisco, handcuffed, kneeling. And because he looked over and laughed at the other person, like chuckled at the other person that was arrested, he got hit in the thigh with a baton. I'm surprised his thigh didn't break. And the other individual that was with him, again, handcuffed, kneeling, was grabbed by the back of his head and his face bashed into the concrete. So this is not just one race that is suffering. We as a whole people have been so abused and programmed to fight each other instead of really standing up together and addressing the people who are in charge. That's the problem. It's not us. The problem is we've allowed so many other people who are in charge too much power over us. And I don't know how that's fixed, but I do know there's a lot of energy shifting right now. I do know that what's going on right now is going to forever change the trajectory of the human consciousness, our evolution as a species. It will forever change it. I read somewhere recently, the only time change was put into place regarding serious atrocities was through riot. It's through riot. Let me see. What's fixed? What's fixed? The Hegelian dialectic, it's fixed. It fixed the problem. The problem is that we were becoming too unified. Too unified. So they fixed that. My son told me earlier today, he was so upset. He saw that another brutal murder of yet another member of the Black community, this time a woman, from I think 2 years ago, something like that, a year or two ago. I forget her name because I didn't want to hear anymore. Someone apparently now decided to release the video of her death. You guys have to remember, like, what the fuck is this? Why do we have to see these things? To keep you pissed off and keep these riots fueled. The riots are bullshit if there's no message to it, if there's no real purpose to it. And I'm not saying all of the people at the riots are just there for looting. No. But there are those who are bussed in. There are those that have no political or moral standing, and they just come in, either they're paid or they're there to just kind of wreak havoc. I don't know. But this shift, we need to capitalize on this shift. This shift needs to be utilized for our forward movement. Hold on. Okay. Ah! Okay. Hold on. Card fell. Bunch of cards flipped over. And then a card fell. So we have Hangman in reverse. Getting stronger in oneself after a lot of deliberating and delaying in your life. We're not doing this. We're not getting stronger in ourselves. Right now, we aren't. Some of us are able to do this, while most of us are kind of just following whatever. Someone tells you to be mad at this today, you be mad at this. Tomorrow, they'll tell you to be mad at that, you be mad at that. And that doesn't do anything. So now we have to really allow ourselves to right the upside down, to get ourselves right side up. And although we'll feel as though we are dangling upside down, this is all for a purpose. Right now, it feels like the world is upside down. Not just the United States, but the world feels so upside down right now. And this celebration, we do not yet have the capacity to understand the gravity of what we're celebrating. Not yet. It's usually after you experience the polar opposite of what that blessing is that you're made to understand. You're made to be ready to understand and accept what you just went through and how it's grown you. We kind of have to We kind of have to let ourselves be free to experience this period however way we're experiencing it. Some of us feel very angry, some of us feel very sad, some of us are apathetic. I can't really say that any one way of experiencing this period of our human history is wrong. I just know some ways are less painful, less struggle than others. But however you're reacting, I can't necessarily say it's wrong. Now, we have Knight of Swords in reverse. This is going to drag out. This is going to drag out quite a bit. It's not going to be fast. You're not going to have a solution right away. This is going to drag out. More people are probably going to become involved. When it comes to the individual, this is going to affect pretty much every aspect of your life, from your social to your career to, well, career is when you work for someone else. If you have your own business, it's going to affect your own business as well. It's bad. It's bad. Six of Wands in reverse. No victory. There's no victory coming. At least not right now. This is going to drag on. Why is this going to drag on? Because we're allowing those who are extremists to guide our thoughts and our progress, and they have their own agenda. They have their own agenda. And I'm pretty sure their agenda does not involve our safety, our centeredness, our peace. Okay? We've had plenty of tower moments throughout, and yet here we are. Change both within and at the systemic level is critical. Absolutely. And the powers that be will do everything they can to prevent it. Absolutely. 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 There will be a victory, just not right now. Not anytime soon. If there are those left that think we can just ignore this and eventually people will calm down, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen, because the powers that be, whether it's the official powers or the powers who are staging a coup d'etat, that's what you guys are witnessing. This is a coup d'etat, hostile takeover. And the powers that are trying to initiate that coup d'etat, they're using our emotions. They are using our emotions so we can be willing volunteers. I don't know. I don't know what we're supposed to do. Yeah, they're dropping off pallets of bricks, strategic locations, and then the rioters, the protesters who are not yet rioting, are guided in that direction. That's what I've seen time and time again. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Hold on. So Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Business domineering. Yeah. No, we're kind of, we the people, I'm not talking about those who are in the background trying to fulfill their ulterior motives. I'm talking about we the people. We have no real business supporting that. If they want to launch a war against the government, we shouldn't volunteer ourselves. We shouldn't allow ourselves to be manipulated through our emotions, our rightful emotions, our grief, our sadness, our rage. We shouldn't allow ourselves to be used in that way. And right now, we really don't have any direction. We, the people, not we who are being paid to protest, not we who are being compensated, shipped to the location and encouraged to antagonize as well as instigate, basically insurrection. We have to know what we're doing when we go to these events. What is it we're there for? There's quite a few peaceful protests still happening. Okay, those are beautiful. Those are beautiful. Where I'm seeing peaceful protesters walking arm in arm with police officials and all of that. Not all police are bad, you guys. It has to be a person by person basis. Not all police are bad, just like not all Black people are, whatever the stereotype. I don't even know what the stereotype is. All I can think of is like ghetto, you know, like that's what people associate with the Black community. And that's not true. That is not true. I know quite a few people who are ghetto who are not Black. And I know quite a few Black people who are not ghetto, who are very well educated, very, very articulate, beautiful in their speech. But no, we're lumping people into groups, and that's not going to happen. That's not going to help us to lead ourselves out of this. It's just not. It's not. This is a human rights violation. These are crimes against humanity. That is what we have to focus on. And no, I'm not asking you to forget all of the fucked up shit the Black community has experienced. That's not what you're being asked or encouraged to do. It is by remembering what has happened in the past that we empower ourselves in the future. No way. No way do you forget what's happened in the past. No way. So we have to learn to lead ourselves. We have to know what our business is about. Ooh, my girlfriend, I brought her on last night, Takesha Firefly Martinez. We just talked during the live stream. Man, one of the most beautiful souls that I know, very dear friend of mine. And I remember in a live stream that she did on her own, she was going through some other circumstance. She had said in that live stream, I am about my Father's business. What are you about? What is your business? What business are you about? I too am about my Creator's business. And even with that, I recognize we need to be heard at this point. Riots are the one way to do that. But is the type of riots going on right now, is that something I'm in alignment with? No. Because to me, it feels like what's going on right now, we are still being used. The Black community is still being very much manipulated. Very much so. Very much so. And to me, that's a disrespect to the whole community. To encourage people to behave in such an ugly way, that does not honor our Black family at all. At all. No, it doesn't. We have to be heard. We have to speak in unison. We have to know what we're speaking about. And a lot of the injustices that we witness the Black community experience, that is what needs to be corrected. Because that's the same injustice all the other communities experience. The Black community experiences it much more. It's much more documented. It's oftentimes much more frequent. But we all suffer these things. We all do. So right now, it's a time for us to really come together, because we're not just fighting for Black rights. We're fighting for human rights. And we are lucky enough, as people who are not members of the Black community, to have them initiate this for us through their loss, through our loss. This is being initiated. So if you're just going to be mad and you don't know what you're mad about, you need to sit with yourself and figure out why you're mad. You're mad for a reason. Figure it out. And then get vocal. Let your needs be heard. What is it that you need? Oh, that was another thing that was so powerful with what she was saying last night. The whole, and these are not my words, I'm kind of paraphrasing her. She had said, because there was if you guys want to hear the whole thing, go watch the live from last night. But she had said for so long, kind of like a mantra was no justice, no peace. And she helped something really click for me about, if this is all we're iterating, if this is all we are saying, reiterating, that's what we're bringing to fruition. Yes, the concept is like, if there's no justice, then we will not be peaceful about this. But if you think about it, no justice, no peace, that could be taken a whole different way by creation. This could be taken as we are asking creation to manifest for us the continuation of no justice, the continuation of no peace. And I was like, damn, girl, that's deep. That's deep. So she figured out a different way to phrase this need that needs to be fulfilled. We want justice and we want peace. I was like, that's deep. That is so profound to be able to understand. And this was her leading my thoughts, that you can have both. It doesn't have to be or. It can be justice and peace. It can be both. But again, we have to be real. We're nowhere near there. We're nowhere near there. We're just getting started with understanding, what is it that we're fighting for? What is it? So the sun in reverse. It's not good. It's not good. So there's going to be continued conflict and aggression and just a lot. But here's the thing, the beautiful thing about this card. We are sunflowers in the field of life. When the sun doesn't shine, the sunflowers turn to each other. They face each other. And that's what we need to do. We need to begin face each other. We need to begin doing that. We have to face each other, and we have to stop looking for reasons to villainize our neighbor. We have to stop looking for that. I can find so many different reasons why you're a horrible person, but instead of that, why don't I go ahead and spend my time looking for all the reasons I should celebrate you? All the ways in which my life is that much more fulfilled because you're part of it. And this isn't about ignoring the negative. This is about moving beyond it, moving past it into another place, another type of consciousness, one that will usher in even more peace, even more equality, stability. And a lot of this will come once we realize, why are we fighting each other? Because when we're too busy fighting each other, we're too distracted to focus on holding the people in power accountable. We have to hold people accountable. If you are being paid for this service, and not only are you not providing this service of protection, you are also abusing me. No. That needs to be corrected. It needs to be corrected. So, Two of Swords in reverse. Peace and harmony, needing to take the blindfold. And this tells me, again, not much peace, not much harmony in the immediate future. Many of us still have the blindfolds on, trying to fight others, not even able to see what's really going on. Yet there you are with swords trying to fight other people. Yeah, I don't know. And if it's gonna, if it's gonna go back to this whole concept of no one else knows. Actually, I do know. I personally know. Driving through Texas, we were stopped, and my husband was pulled out of the car simply because he was racially profiled. That's fucked up shit. Fucked up shit. We didn't do anything. We weren't speeding, nothing. Pulled over because of racial profiling. A lot of people experience things. We all have some idea, some level of idea of what the fuck's going on in this world. Okay, you can't say that I don't know what I'm talking about because I've never experienced blah, blah, blah. I've never been, y'all, I'm not even ashamed. Growing up, our house was raided quite a few times. We were on a first name basis with a whole fucking police department. Okay, raided right before Christmas. Nothing was found. Raided right before I go to school. Y'all have no fucking idea how much abuse of power there have been for so many generations. My father had basically an armory, legally obtained firearms, purchased firearms, legally obtained. They raided our house and took half. Legally obtained, not connected to any crimes, yet they kept it. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars worth of firearms, legally obtained firearms. What was the cause? What was the reason for denying the return of his personal property? Because no single household should have this much firepower. And this was before the ban on fully automatic firearms. They made sure to take everything. So it wasn't contraband. It was still legally obtained. It was just through a legal dealer, a store. So this has been going on for so long. And they never gave those guns back. Again, they were never used in any kind of crime. They weren't connected to anything. The only reason was because no citizen should have that much firepower. Why? Why is that? What if it's just your collection? What if you're just a collector, which my father is? Why is that? They were purchased before laws came into effect. They should be able to be grandfathered in. Why is that? Know what I'm saying? So every single one of us has been fucked with to a certain degree. Every single one of us. And it's time for us to really, really see we are being gifted with an opportunity, not just of unifying as a people, but of allowing the Black community's loss, which is all of our loss, to gift us with an opportunity to fight for rights that affect all of us, that create equality for all of us. This is not just a Black problem, you guys. It's never been just the Black. Society would want you to believe that. It's never been just a Black problem. This has been a human rights problem. Four of Pentacles, more coming your way. Shit. More coming your way. But with this being upright, I kind of feel like the energy to continue, the energy to help us rebalance our thoughts and understand what it is we're really fighting for, which is for all of us, okay? For all of us. More energy is going to come our way to do this. To do this in what way? I don't know. Again, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and try and pretend like I know. I'm not going to sit here and try and convince you guys that some sort of solution that I present is the right way, because I don't even know what to do my damn self. I don't know what to do my damn self. Okay. So right now we have to really just pause for a moment with the actions. You can still be very vocal. You can still be very, very vocal about your displeasure with what's going on, really sharing of your thoughts, sharing of your experiences, but pause before you act. You're so run by emotion right now. Allow yourself to just pause for a moment and really digest some of the most difficult emotions and see how you want to move forward. The last thing you need is to be part of a circumstance that's not furthering a solution. We want to further solutions, not conflict. So, oh yeah, this is the energy. King of Wands, restless, outspoken, ambitious. This is how we have to be. Restless, outspoken, ambitious. We also need to look at why most have been comfortable with turning a blind eye to the history of these human rights violations. Why the glaring silence for so long? I will tell you exactly why. Because for so long we have been told it's the Black people, it's the Black people, it's the Black community. It is not the Black community. It is not. And that's why it's so important for us to understand now this is not just a Black community problem. We're not just rioting in the streets for the Black community. It's not. And this is the very reason why people are so like, oh, it's them, it's them. It's not them. It's us. It's very much us. And once we realize that we are all citizens here, another citizen in our country is being fucked with, we have to do something about that. So if you disagree with what I'm saying, maybe you should start your own live stream and be vocal on your own live stream. Maybe that's it. If all you want to focus on is the problem, which all of us for how many generations now know what the fuck the problem is. And I'm voicing one of the potential reasons why people have been able to turn a blind eye. You ask a question, I give you an answer, and then you go and tell me it's not us. We're waiting on all of you. Well, why don't you start your own channel and encourage people to join you? You're welcome to do that. Because I will not tolerate someone being in my presence trying to further that fucking narrative of, it's our problem. Y'all haven't helped us. No. No. So you can start your own channel. Go ahead, start your own channel, go on your own live stream. I will go there and I will support you. But you will not do that here because that's not what this platform is for. And you have to understand that and you have to respect that. All of us are very emotional at this point. All of us. We're all very triggered. We all don't really know what to do. And we're all trying to figure out a way to move past this so we can reunify as a country. See what I'm saying? Lolo says, I was agreeing with you. We're all so fucking emotional, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry for maybe misunderstanding what you wrote. But we're also emotional, and that's so easy to do. I'm not excusing my behavior. I'm explaining it. When you are so emotional, you hear something that is intended to support you, and you don't see it that way. And that's why we have to pause. We have to pause, and we have to be like, okay, well, whoa, emotions are too intense. What are they really saying? What is it I'm really wanting to say? Where's the miscommunication? You know, it's very difficult when emotions are so high, and that's why this is happening. That's why this is happening. We have been caged up in our homes for how many months? Most people have had their livelihood stripped from them, whether it's their own business that they put everything into, or they are working for someone and can no longer be allowed to work. All of us are being fucked with. And they are using, I don't know who they are. They are people in control. They are fucking using the Black community yet again to try and start shit, to further their objectives, their agenda. And excuse me, but that fucking pisses me off that the Black community continues to be used as fucking reasons to further oppress. I'm not okay with that shit. I'm not okay with that shit. No fucking way I'm going to agree to that. No fucking way I'm going to continue that narrative in anything I do. We are one people. We are one people. You fuck with a Black person, a white person, an Indian person, whatever fucking race they are, you're fucking with one of my family. And I have a big problem with that. And I'm not going to allow anyone to convince me that I'm fucked up because I'm not supporting a specific community. I'm supporting the whole fucking species. The whole species. And maybe if we understand that and begin supporting our people, we'll begin understanding what the fuck's going on. Because for how long have we done this as a nation? How many children have been bombed in Syria, in Palestine? How many have been gunned down? How many have been made orphans? And yet we're here. Well, that's over there. That's the Middle East fucking crazy. That's over there. That's Middle East bullshit. That's the same thing we're doing on a micro level with the Black community. Oh, that's Black community bullshit. No, it's not. There's a lot of fucked up shit happening in this world. And we keep turning a blind eye because we allow ourselves to be separated by labels, by colors, by regions, by socioeconomic status. And it has to stop. Because there's really us, and there's that 1%. Am I telling you to attack the 1%? No, I'm telling you 1% should not be able to control 99. That's the problem. That's the problem. They keep us so busy fighting each other that we forget they're the fucking problem. It's not us. It's not that community, this community, that region, that dollar amount. That is not that. It's those motherfuckers up there, that 1% that's controlling everything, that's oppressing us as a people. And what we need to understand right now, we have to become very unified with the Black community, all the communities, but especially the Black community, because a member of that community gave his life to initiate this. Granted, he didn't volunteer for that shit, but what's already done is done, and we need to utilize that to reunify ourselves. And the people who continue with this narrative of labeling it as a Black crime, a Black community, all you're doing is helping the people who still don't understand to separate that. Well, I'm not Black. That's not my problem. That's what you're doing. You're furthering that. So what we have to do now is really understand why we're pissed. Every single last one of us has to understand why we are pissed. And this rage, rightful, righteous rage, is powerful. It is powerful. This is the very reason the people who want to claim they're spiritual and the whole love and light thing, and oh my God, you can't show any kind of rage, because rage is the energy that's used to push through boundaries, knock down walls, demolish cages. That is the very emotion you need to utilize right now. Does that mean you need to go out there, start looting, setting shit on fire, beating people? No. That is uncontrolled rage. When you can harness that rage, harvest it, and use it with specific intent, you become a superpower. You become something unstoppable, because everyone who witnesses you after you have learned to temper that rage, focus it, and use it as appropriately needed, you then inspire them to do the same thing. And that's what we're needing right now. That is what we are needing right now. We are needing to allow ourselves to process some of that emotion, so then we can go ahead and focus that on what we need to do. And what is it we need to do? A new system needs to be created, because there's nothing wrong with the one that's working right now. It's working properly. Look how easy they're able to manipulate us. Look how easy they've had trying to separate us. Look how easy that was. It was very easy. So we elected officials, we need to vote for what we believe in, not the lesser of two evils. That's if democracy really was for the people. I don't think it is. Ooh, did you hear that, man? It never was. Yeah, it's been working the way it was designed to, unfortunately. Because I don't know enough about politics, because I hate politics. I don't have any solution to offer, not even an idea of a solution. None. Yep, we do need to hold them accountable or get them out. I think we need to do both, actually. But what replaces that? If you look at other countries who have had their very abusive governments destabilized through the support of insurgents, because our country does that, we support insurgents. Who do you think trained bin Laden? Who provided him the training as well as the weaponry? Why would we do that? So he could go ahead and destabilize, was it Iraq? I think it was Iraq. I think it had to do with Saddam Hussein, if I remember right. Yeah, that's what we did. Look it up. Look it up. Bin Laden was a CIA operative, trained by our CIA, and then funded. Some fucked up shit. Some fucked up shit. So what happens when the government's destabilized? Something else takes over. And unless we know what that something is, I don't know if I want something else taking over. So unless one of you can offer a solution for how to restructure, how to rebuild, I don't know what to say. We don't be removing things that we already know how to function within unless we know what's going to take its place. And maybe I'm wrong, but from everything I'm seeing, this is looking like a cloaked coup d'etat, hostile takeover. Who's going to be ruling us next? I don't know. I don't know. If it's the groups that can piggyback on the very brutal murder of a man in the streets, I don't know. That's pretty, that might even be worse than what we have in power right now. I don't know. I intentionally stay away from all of this. Hi, Jennifer. So guys, this energy update, everything is in flux. It's like we as a collective consciousness have been thrown in quicksand. The more we struggle, the more we're afraid and struggle and, thrash around, the more we sink. So what do you need to do? Have you ever seen a video on how to get out of quicksand? Have you guys seen that? Look that up. How to get out of quicksand. I saw a video. There was a lady, she was a teacher, she took her class to the beach. They were pretty far away from the shoreline, where the water line, whatever the fuck you call it, where the ocean water comes up onto the shore, that area. And the sand was still wet. And she had everyone stomping their feet. That's what's happening right now, right? We're stomping our feet. And in doing that, we were displacing the water in between the sand. And so it became quicksand. It was, I think it was either rarefaction or liquefaction. I can't remember the actual term. But as they kept doing that, she sank down to, I think, her thighs. I think it was her thighs. How do you get out? You lean on one leg and you keep shaking the leg you're trying to get free. You keep shaking it until it's on the surface. And then you put your weight on the other leg and you shake loose the leg that's still submerged. And that's kind of what we need to go and do at this point. All of this rumbling that we've been doing, which it's understandable and it's right. Okay? It's not a wrong type of rumble. It's right. It's justified. But it's creating a quicksand effect. And we as communities, separately and together, are sinking. We're sinking. And we're struggling to get out. And it's like, whew. A lot of chest pain today for me as well. A lot of chest pain for me. And I'm wondering if that is the pain of the collective heart. What's going on right now within the whole world, especially in our country, is very heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. A lot of people are crying. A lot of people are crying. A lot of people don't know what to do. I don't want the Black community to feel as though they don't matter. A lot of people are mourning this loss. A lot of people who have kept very quiet for so long regarding, their feelings about what they're witnessing being done to Black members of communities, they can't be quiet anymore. Exactly, crying for years. crying for years, both the Black community and the people who are not in that community, who have not been blind to what's been being done. But they've been quiet because I don't want to say anything because, you know, I don't want to step on toes, and it's their community. No, that was what led to this problem in the first place. That's what led to this problem in the first place. The people who could see what's wrong and haven't spoken up because they're afraid of stepping on toes. They're afraid of, like, well, you don't even know because you never even experienced. You know, there's a thing called empathy. Not just sympathy, where, oh, I feel bad for you. I'm talking about people who are experiencing deep levels of empathy, where it's never happened to them personally, but God, they feel your pain just as deeply as you do. And it's not to take away from your pain, it's to let you know you're not alone in it. You're not alone in it. No one is. I think at this point, no one can really turn a blind eye to anything. And I will tell you, there are those who are posing as though they are part of the Black community, but they're not. They're encouraging people to attack other communities. And what's that do? It encourages other communities to exist in fear and not support. And that's their goal. That's their goal, to break people away from supporting each other. Fuck that shit. Seriously, fuck that shit. I heard the other day that now it's been announced, I forget what account, they announced, you know, now we have to go ahead and target Asians because there was an Asian cop. Let me tell you, I watched that video. I'm like, this Asian ass motherfucker, you are shaming the rest of our fucking region of the world. How dare you fucking stick up for this shit? No, 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 I'm not going to be lumped in with that fucker. I don't think so. I don't think so. And reading that is not going to make me suddenly be like, oh my God, oh, that whole community is. No, I know too many people who are Black, who are part of my inner circle, who I trust and love. You are not changing my opinion. I don't think so. Nope. And that's what they want. That's what they want. And I even question if they're part of that community at all. I don't think so. I don't think so. The world is with you. The world is with you. Absolutely. Absolutely. So you guys, I gotta end this live. The world is with us, but the violence happening does not help anyone. I don't agree with the violence, but a huge part of me feels like they've had their opportunity. For so many years, they've had their opportunity, and they wouldn't listen when we were peaceful. We're gonna make them fucking hear now that we're not. It's a lot. I think, honestly, I think the ones that are being violent are not protesters. I don't think they are. And I feel like it would be immoral of me to ask you guys to go to protest, and if you see people who are not being peaceful, to stop them and be like, you can't do that. You're not supposed to do that. And I don't know, citizens arrest, or I don't know. I mean, I can't ask you to do something that I won't do. That's just not who I am. And I know I'm not allowed to go protest. I mean, aside from the fact that I live in the country somewhere deep in the wilderness, and there's no protest anywhere near me, I'm not allowed to go. So I could never ask that of you. But if any of you find yourself at a protest, a peaceful one, and you see those agent provocateurs, that's what they are. Agent provocateurs. They've been used for so many false flags. That's what this is. One of the most successful false flag projects that they've run. One of the most successful, if not the most successful. I'd say it's more successful than what they did in 9/11. I would say it is. It's the most successful. You guys, Lolo, thank you for mentioning that. I want to show you something, okay? I used to work closely with law enforcement. I worked security for a period, and we worked with law enforcement quite a bit. And they tried to recruit me to become an officer, to which I said, fuck that shit, because I have an attitude problem. Last thing I need to be doing is being given that kind of power, and I will fuck someone up with my bad attitude. And I knew that. And that's why I stopped taking classes to become a cop. Because I know myself. You're not going to fuck with me. You don't give me that kind of power with this kind of attitude, that ends badly. Hold on. Where is it? Here. Rubber bullets are non-lethal, but if you get hit close enough, and I remember this from when I used to work with law enforcement, if they strike you in certain areas, it can be very, very life-threatening. If it's at close enough range, yes, you can die. So this poor girl, I bet she looked adorable before. Not so adorable now. Rubber bullet. Okay, rubber bullet in the forehead. Now, if they were trained properly, I do believe you're not supposed to aim for anyone's head. I do believe you're supposed to go for center mass. I also do believe when I went for baton certification and all of that shit, there's certain areas you're not supposed to hit. You're not supposed to fucking go for the head ever. No downward strides, no none of that. All has to be from the side because you're not trying to kill someone. When I was certified in certain types of holds, never was I told that it was okay to put my knee on someone's neck. They taught us carotid veins, both sides. You compress that, you block circulation to the brain. You are at risk of brain injury. We were never taught that shit. But hey, that was before all of this shit. That was in the 90s. So I don't know what the fuck's going on with law enforcement, but they're out of fucking hand. I know this for a fact because I worked with PD closely. This is out of hand. Their abuse of their power is so fucking out of hand. If you cannot control yourself, given that kind of power, you should not have that kind of fucking job. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And I stopped with that career path because I knew if someone threatens my life, fuck the badge. I'm gonna fuck your ass up. Mutual combat. I won't even press charges. But I promise you, I will fuck your ass. And that's how my mentality was then. And I knew you don't give someone like me with that kind of attitude, that kind of power. That's going to end so fucking badly. So badly. And maybe cops need to have more of a psychological profile. Maybe they really need to be tested way more than what they're being tested. Maybe instead of spending all that time finding tertiary people who know them so they can snitch out on possible, things they did in the past, maybe they should spend more of their budget and their time checking the psychological makeup of these potential officers. Because this is just nope, 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 nope. I don't know. It's hard to remember that you're not on the battlefield when your face is covered. There was I think he was a former Marine, and he was talking about it in some video I watched a few months ago, that it's a lot harder to neutralize an individual. And when I say neutralize, you're either going to gravely injure, handicap, or full on kill in that moment an individual. So, 43% at 333. In order for them to make it much easier for military to do that, the face covered, it takes away your identity. It takes your humanity away. And I was like, shit, holy shit. And not to mention, there's now, I talked about this in a previous live stream. I took it down because I didn't feel like people were ready to hear it. One of the main objectives is to separate the police department, the peace officers, the sheriffs, whatever, from the citizens, create a divide. Because what happens? When we vilify them, they no longer want to protect us. That's what happens. When they know that we are saying all police are bad, they're going to defend themselves. It's no longer protect and serve. I'm not going to sacrifice my life for you. I don't think so. Why would they sacrifice their life for that? And there are plenty of officers that are good people that really just want to help. Plenty, plenty. And there are those who are nasty, who shouldn't be working, who have a serious abuse of their power. And, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. I know what the problems are. I know how I feel about the problems. I know that because of the way I feel about the problems, I really need to pause and make sure that what I say, what I share is constructive instead of just adding more fuel to fire that problem. And I think that's one of the ways we can really empower ourselves, empower our communities. Ooh, see, this was the last card, 9 of Wands. Oh, wait, all of the cards were in reverse. Hold on. This is an important one. Yeah. This is an important card. I don't know why. I totally forgot I had it. And then Michael says the most important card hasn't been read. So, oh shit. 9 of Wands in reverse, adversity, delays, disaster, ill health. Let that be interpreted in whatever way you want. Okay. I think this card, this final card, 9 of Wands in reverse, has a lot to do with needing to be interpreted by each individual for their specific circumstance. We're all needing to be patient with our process. Being patient and pausing does not mean turning a blind eye. It does not mean we suddenly don't care and are to pretend like nothing's going on and nothing needs to be corrected. It means think before you put into action what your emotions are causing you to feel you need to do. Think first. I'm not asking you not to act. I'm asking you to think first. Is this possible thing a better solution, a better plan of action than this? Weigh your options out. I'm not asking you to not do anything. I want to make that very clear. I'm not asking you to be silent in the face of tyranny. I'm asking you to just pause. Think about how you want to express yourself, what you want to express, what your message is, and how we're going to go forward. We're going to make it through this. We are. Although the intentions are very bad and very ugly, it's growing us as a people. It really, really is. And I truly hope every member of the Black community understands they are not alone in this. No, you are not alone in this. And yes, protest, but protect yourself. Very important. My son was also telling me, I don't know, the protests keep shifting. The energies there keep shifting. I don't know what their main, their immediate agenda is. He was saying, I guess a couple of his friends went to a protest because he's an adult at this point, my son. He didn't go. I don't know what state they're in. But a couple of his friends went to a protest, and I think they were just standing there, and one of the girls that was there with them, their female friend, she was just snatched. They weren't even doing anything. She was dragged and then I guess handcuffed and dragged somewhere else. She ended up going to jail, like literally just standing there. They weren't doing anything. My son doesn't lie to me about stuff like that. Okay. He doesn't lie to me, period. He doesn't want me to know something. He just gets quiet. So he said not only was she arrested, they wouldn't tell anyone where she was sent. They finally found her. They finally had her released, but they kept her phone. So I don't know. I don't know, guys. Just be safe. Be safe, and we're not going to let this continue. We as a people can't allow it. We can't. We cannot allow it. We can't. Ooh, yes, yes. A form of Protest can be educating others on human rights and accessibility to those rights for all. Yes. Yes. Because again, guys, they want to make us believe it's just one community, but this is not a one community issue or problem. Okay? This is all of our problem. We all have to become aware of human rights. We do. And if we're witnessing a violation of those human rights, we have to step in. We have to. We can't just sit on the street. And I don't know what I would have done if I was there. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. Well, Elijah, here, there was another thing that was sent to me. Someone, they had a knock on their door. Police came in. There was no warrant. They arrested him. They brought, and they took him to a psych ward. No one called on him. They took him to a psych ward, and they were saying he was unstable because they use, I think, the tracer apps to identify who was at one of the protests. I think it was in New York, who was present during those protests. And then they went back, and each individual, I guess, SIM card that was identified, they traced it back to the people's houses, and they began putting them in 5150 holds. So yeah, it was a Twitter tweet. They use facial recognition as well as your phone. Y'all, I wanted to post this shit. I'll show you guys. I wanted to post it, but I was like, you know what? I don't want to encourage people to do things, but I also want to respect people's decision to express themselves. I'm not going to say what it is. I'll just show it. And if you guys want to press pause, if you feel the need to have this information, hold on. There. Can you guys see it? So you can come back later on and look for it yourself. You can, it's at 1 hour and I want to say 1 hour, 6 minutes, 30 seconds. You can look that up. If you really feel the need to be out there and physically be present, I ask you to be safe. Please not participate in illegal things. Oof. There you go. Screenshot it. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. A lot of information spreading out regarding all kind of different things. Please be mindful of who you're listening to. Okay, be mindful of who you're listening to and use high levels of discernment. We're being manipulated as a people. We can't allow that anymore. And we can't be quiet about it either. We can't be quiet. There is a need for more elevated forms of communication. Unfortunately. So you guys, thank you so much for sharing this space with me. Thank you for being open to hearing my thoughts. These are just my thoughts. I'm no more right in my thoughts and opinions than you. And thank you for being open to hearing my thoughts. And Lolo, sorry for screaming at you. If you did start your own channel, I would go on the channel and support you. I really would. I'd be like, fuck yeah. Not on this channel. I want to encourage people to be empowered in a more conscious and peaceful way. Sometimes physical peace is not possible, but as much as possible, try and cultivate an environment where that is an option. 34% at 343. 34343. Thank you guys. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. And I deeply love you guys. I really deeply do.